So I had to do some references this week.
Oh.
You're just going to get tales of my corporate life as intros until I finally transition into being a film programmer. I'm hoping this will motivate me and our listeners to try and force me in a desperate bid to end these bits to actually chase my passion.
Fuck it. 10 of these is enough. I'm hiring him.
Work in a foyer at Cineworld. Anything. I can't hear about the stapler again.
And Joan just refills the stapler. She doesn't do it badly, but it's just...
the way she does it, you know?
It's shittily done.
It's shittily done.
Yeah.
And I always redo it afterwards, even though she did it perfectly. I just can't live knowing that that's how my stapler was loaded. So,
yeah.
References.
Okay.
You know what a good reference is? A good reference is, did this person have a disciplinary action taken against them during employment? Yes, no. Thanks. Signed, signature. That's literally like, sometimes I've done references that are like that.
Yeah.
And then others, I don't mind doing a bit of purple prose.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind doing a little bit of, the artist with the with the photocopier. You've never seen the like.
And then you include a picture of you biting your lip. and wanking. Oh, dear.
Oh my god, and that's how I got fired from being a reference. But sometimes you get 3 fucking pages, and it's like, what skills do you think this person has that might be applicable in their new position? Like, why am I applying for this job on their behalf?
This is for them to do. Surely they've done
They
this
will
already.
have told you this. Like, are you trying to catch them out? Is it meant to be sort of like, I see in your application you mentioned that you have very good telephone skills, but your reference never mentioned. Who the fuck are you? Sherlock of the HR department? Get out of recruitment. The city streets beckon. They need justice, and you're the man for the job.
Jesus, there's just literally like nothing no one is expected to do, is there? It's just... What are you bleeding out your ears? What about your eyes? You could be doing more work. Go!
Fucking hell. Go! For the good of the city.
Go team! Team City, Team London.
Team London is genuinely the name of a thing that we use to get volunteers. And I hate it. I hate everybody there. Somebody hire me to work in your cinema, please. Please.
He's good at cinema.
I've got some references to demonstrate how good I am. You know what a good reference is? Is please hire this person. I love you. They're going to work hard for you.
Yeah.
Kisses, Paul Salt. That's the kind of reference I give, and any one of you can get that reference from me right now.
For $10.99.
$10.99.
Literally.
The premium Patreon. One of the Patreon levels now is just a reference from me.
Other artists do cameo. We do reference, though.
We do reference, yeah.
Refro.
And we validate parking somehow.
The state bequeathed us this power. In America, though, so...
Yeah, for being good pod people.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Take that, Squarespace. I don't know.
Hello and welcome to One Good Thing, the podcast that can't account for any one of its appendages at the best of times. I'm Paul of Shit.
I'm not ow, I'm
We are careening down the welcoming, gently trilling orifice of the history hole. Down the history hole! Oh, I love the history hole. And we are desperately running out of the 80s here as we arrive at 1981's The Hand.
You think I've done something wrong, don't you?
Terror he could not forget.
You think there's something in there, don't you?
Torment he could not bear. Truth he would not face.
Hey! Take a look!
Orion Pictures presents Michael Caine in The Hand.
You don't want me to go to New York with you, do you?
I'm not talking about a separation or anything permanent or anything like that. I thought you understood that. I thought that was why you said
Well,
I could...
we obviously do not understand each other. Look out! Get back!
A man trapped in a nightmare. the grasp of the hand.
Oh, John. John? John?
What's the matter? Why are you looking at me like that?
Michael Caine in The Hand.
What's a hand noise? What's a hand? What's the sound of one-handed trilling?
Oh. Listen to that flock of hands.
Is that a collective noun? An arm.
A shite of hands.
That makes no sense whatsoever.
An arm of hands sounds right. English is a wonderful language.
English is a thing. And speaking of things, this is the second thing from Oliver Stone, second film. Previously seen up here on OGT Mountain because I like JFK in spite of JFK.
In spite of everything.
In spite of everything about JFK and everything that was in the files.
Oh God! Also, there was a while there when I erroneously believed Oliver Stone was responsible for Snake Eyes, and I'm just gonna let's just say you're a three-man. You're a three-man, Ollie.
Oh. Based on this, it's pretty easy to see where the Brian De Palma comparisons might come from.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, let's do everyone a favor by catching up a bit on Oliver Stone. The Oliver Stone story so far,
Ooh,
just
okay.
briefly.
The story Stone Far.
There you go. The story Stone Far is the name of his biopic, in which I am cast as Oliver Stone. I actually think I could pull it off. Look at pictures of him. I could do it.
Okay, I'm
so
gonna do that.
you do that whilst I tell you about Oliver Stone. Not young Oliver Stone, you understand. Rich family in New York drops out of Harvard in order to go fight in Nam, where he gets medals and drugs and the doors. Like, he really gets them, you know?
Oh, I see.
Finally.
Yeah,
he gets them.
Nice.
He gets them now. So
Get
he was
it,
a good
man.
soldier, it seems.
Okay.
He gets out. He studies film at the NYU under Martin Scorsese, who was a lecturer there. And, guess God. Same way Laura Mulvey is technically my lecturer, Marty Scorsese.
She's your Electra.
She's my Electra. She's my Carmen Electra. And you wouldn't believe what my bedroom wall looks like. Nevertheless. In 1974, he made a movie called Seizure, and I was gonna say, could you just Google the poster for that, my man?
Oh yeah,
Seizure,
sure.
1974.
Okay.
Have you seen young Oliver Stone yet?
No, I can see a picture of old Oliver Stone, or rather 50s
I
or
could play
60s
that,
Oliver
right?
Stone. That's Paul Salt all over, mate.
That's just me. I could do that. Come
Yeah,
on.
is that? Have you been putting
Give me-
pictures of yourself on Wikipedia again?
Give me 20 more years of 2 pizzas a day, and I can Oliver Stone it. Not just in terms of weight, but like
Pre-pod
haggard.
kebabs. Okay.
Yeah. Let it ravage me sufficiently.
Oliver Stone's Seizure looks like it was made on word art, clip art, and PowerPoint.
So you've got the poster with the 3 figures, right?
No, I've got Oliver Stone's Seizure in red and orange letters,
And
then
blue and gold and silver and
ochre and wank.
yeah.
And then
Ochre is the one everyone remembers because it's not a color. Fuck off, whoever wrote
ochre.
that musical.
ochre.
Ochre.
So,
Yeah, or ochre.
Ochre. I mean, yeah, the color ochre has a color, but it's not a
does.
color. I don't want to get, I don't want to be
That particular
technical.
shade of green.
Yeah, it's like a shitty green. I love, but then shitty green is the name they use for that. Okay, Oliver Stone's Seizure, and then the whole poster is a fire, and then there's a woman, a scantily clad woman, I might add.
Yep.
With her hands on either side of the little like the frame that she's in the middle of this poster.
Yep.
And then underneath, AKA Queen of Evil.
Oh, okay, that's that's like the character poster for the Queen of Evil. Please look at other posters and find one which has 3 people on it.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, the first one that comes up.
You got it. Okay, cool. Great. Yeah. Oh, okay. Just immediately the first one. Yeah, so it's about a horror writer who is haunted by those 3 figures. The Queen of Evil, played by double Bond girl, Martine Beswick.
Ooh.
A giant strong man, played by Tough Cop from Cruising, one of the best movies ever made. And a menacing dwarf named Spider, played by Hervé Villechaize, of all people. The fucking, Bond guy played Knick-Knack.
Oh.
So, he has pull.
Yeah.
Stone has pull. He's got Hervé Villechaize cachet.
Yeah, okay.
Already pull.
He's got that Hervé money.
He's got the Hervey money. And actor Mary Warnoff claims that the movie was bankrolled by gangsters. So,
Okay.
and then at this stage, his life gets weird.
Then, well, yeah. Or I mean, I was going to say already the Paul Salt parallels they're just getting closer and closer. I'm curious to see where it's going now.
Everything I've ever done, including all of my work for disabled people, has been bankrolled by gangsters.
Our
Caring,
friendship has been
compassionate
bankrolled.
gangsters.
Yeah. by slightly less
Honestly,
compassionate gangsters.
In Tory Britain, it's the only thing that makes sense. Stone goes and works as a taxi driver, a messenger, a salesman. He gets hooked on coke, and he writes Midnight Express, for which he wins an Oscar. So, mixed decade, the 70s for Stone. 80s arrive. He writes and directs The Hand, and then the next thing's going to be Scarface.
Yeah.
He's going to write Conan the Barbarian with John Milius, then write and direct Scarface. Fucking cocaine, guys. It takes you places.
Look, I want to say that I have a lot of love for cocaine. The only reason I'm not doing it all the time is because I haven't found a fair trade option yet.
That is fair.
Yeah.
You can't worry about that when you are Oliver Stone and John Milius. I don't have evidence that Stone and Milius did coke together, except for the fact that they wrote Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah, and our dreams, our lustful dreams. Our very real
And then
wishes.
he punches a camel. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And then he turns into a snake, right? And he gets a bow and an arrow and turns the snake into an arrow and shoots it at Conan.
Yeah, no, yes. Yeah.
I don't think that should happen, but I do think it's everything I've ever wanted.
Yeah. Where you going? Hospital?
We'll shoot it. We won't use it, but we'll shoot it. So, yeah, The Hand. The Hand, unfortunately, is what we're here to talk about today.
Yeah.
So, he makes us for Orion. So, it's his first studio movie of a long career of crazy fucking studio movies.
Prestige piece.
Oh, legitimacy. Sure, let me give you some of that.
How about this?
And we get a hodgepodge of old and new talent. We've got a baby-faced James Horner on the soundtrack. Oh, can you hear the panpipes already? Is Celine Dion already cooing gently into your ear?
As
Michael Caine wrestles.
As Michael Caine looking expressly like a sort of older age Eric Idle. Gets in the faces of women.
My hand will go on.
Got fucking bubbles all over the place.
Fucking bubbles everywhere. I'm on this ship. It's going down a fucking river. So, I don't think I'm going to make it into a lifeboat. You need to go on without me.
You wet slag.
I can't, Jack. I can't. I don't know why she's also Michael Caine.
That would have won the Oscar.
I can't go on without you.
I know, love.
Here, take this lovely bit of jewellery to remember me.
Take this bloody boat.
I thought my mum, I thought my Billy Zane gave me this. Well, now you'll think of me when you release it into the ocean at the end of the movie. Fucking hell, and all Michael Caine Titanic. Sign up to Patreon, guys. We're going to do the whole movie. Paint me like one of your French girls. I will.
As about this.
I think it's French and Saunders where they do that, and then they turn around the picture, and it's just a stick figure with huge boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
good.
so.
That's a fucking good joke. Speaking of good jokes, Stan Winston. James Cameron fucking stole all of these guys. He showed up like Neil Breen in a Paul Blart movie and just took everyone. But Stan Winston's doing the special effects here.
Okay.
Cameron worked for Orion too, so it's not conspiracy theory. He totally did it. But yeah, here Winston is working with special effects royalty, Carlo Rambaldi, who worked on like King Kong and stuff. Not the King Kong, 70s King Kong. 70s cocaine-fueled King Kong. It's a great movie. Stone aimed big for his lead actor. He wanted Jon Voight. Fresh out of Deliverance at this stage in his fucking career. Then he wanted Hoffman or Walken.
God.
Oh no.
Oh my God.
Well, fucking Dustin Hoffman. I don't know. There's a hand out there. I don't know what to tell you. It's
Hey, Dustin Baby, can we? Dustin Baby, can we get a few more screams, a bit more anger? I'm showing the anger I got. I don't want
What's the matter with you? You want me angry? What's the matter? It sounds like fucking Lazar Rockwood in my head. What do you mean?
Everything is clipped. Everything distorted.
He ends up with Caine, who was fresh off of Dressed to Kill, which makes sense because this is a Brian De Palma movie in any way that matters except for Brian De Palma's involvement. Otherwise, it's Brian De Palma's movie.
Still happy to credit this to Brian De Palma.
You can actually do that. Like Alan Smithy, you can actually put out Brian De Palma on any movie that you don't want to take credit for.
If it's gross enough.
Caine took the job because he wanted to earn enough to put the down payment on a new garage he was having built. Fucking hell.
Absolute wanker. Absolute tosspot.
He kind of is, right? Like, you respect it a bit, but come on, respect your audience a bit. They're showing up for you.
Okay, imagine if, like with Jaws 4. Is it Jaws 4?
Yeah.
And he went,
yeah, it's Jaws 4.
I need to buy my mum a new ass. If he like every time he was in a bad movie, he just went, I needed to buy my mum a new house. You go, oh, no, you used that one for the other film. I needed to buy my... Yeah, you've already used that one, mate.
No, he has used that quite a lot. How many houses does his mum have at this stage? I think he has said it a few times.
Oh, okay, well then fuck him.
Conservative MP Michael Caine, I bet. Nevertheless. And somehow, in spite of that searing passion from Caine, the movie was not well received.
Oh, what? It just goes to show, right? You put your heart and soul into it. You put
and your hand.
Yeah, and your hand. And you get up in women's faces and have a good shout. And nothing. It doesn't guarantee success, does it?
No, he did sometimes win Oscars for getting up in women's faces and having a good shout, like he did in Hannah and Her Sisters. But most of the time,
yeah, well, it's deserved. So
didn't work. Deservedly so. Jack Matthews at the Detroit Free Press.
Clown.
Thank God. Communist magazine. I don't know anything about the Detroit Free Press, but it sounds great. About halfway through this thing, you'll find there's more fun in making up jokes than following the story. Hope so. We'll be in trouble if not.
We'll fucking find out.
In about an hour after my notes finish. Jesus. Not much in the way of dissent from the public either. Quinoa 1984, I love him already, over at IMDb said, as a fan of Caine's and a usually fan of Stones, it's suffice to say this is crap.
I'm
suffice to say then.
Look, if I'm a fan of these guys, obviously this is a whole big pile of shit wank.
As just a huge fan of cinema in general, fuck it.
Fuck all of it.
Oh, but I've got to have one more, mate. I've got to have one more.
Oh, go on,
the
then.
public. We've not got enough stuff to talk about. Manuel Pestalozzi over on IMDb said... Pestalozzi. I suspect Oliver Stone wanted to do something in the vein of Kubrick's Shining here. The story has so many similarities that a mere coincidence can be ruled out.
Do you suspect that?
I do. Do you remember that third act where he goes to the Overlook Hotel?
Yes.
None is the similarities. I can't think of a similarity.
Yeah. Disembodied hand.
He does have a good shout. Disembodied hand.
Does have a good shout.
Michael Caine.
There are some boobs.
There are some boobs.
It's a horror film.
Oh, Christ. Well, look, Michael Caine's a foreman. Fine. But, more importantly, I'm so excited. I forgot I have this for you. Mara Hobble, who plays Lizzie in this. You remember little his daughter?
Oh, yeah.
You know, his daughter. I did this motion. His daughter.
His spider daughter.
His spider daughter who crawls into frame every now and then. Caine's daughter would go on to play Woman with Hands Over Ears in The Happening. So it's a sparkling career ahead of her.
Good. Okay.
But, more importantly and impressively, she managed to play this seemingly alive and sane little girl in spite of the fact that the same year she got screamed at by Faye Dunaway about wire hangers in Mommy Dearest.
What?
Yes! She was that little girl. Bring me the axe!
Jesus Christ!
Yes, she says that. Jesus Christ. She could have said that in this as well.
Do you reckon Michael Caine was just preparing her for what was to happen? Now, you're not going to understand this, little girl, but I'm doing it for your own bloody good.
You've not met Faye Dunaway yet. I did when I was a little boy. When I was a little girl. And look what happened to me.
Not very bloody nice, is it? Jesus Christ.
Good luck to her. Good luck to you, Mara Hobble, and your continued process of grieving for your innocence.
In the
Got
fateful
yelled at by two
year.
of the strangest adults the world has in store for you. Fucking hell. 1981.
Glad I wasn't
Jesus.
alive then.
I'm so glad. When Faye Dunaway walked the earth. Like a fucking allosaur.
Better since we banished her to the moon. Just don't go to the moon.
I can't believe all of NATO agreed to that.
And you do
So
hear
did Faye
it.
Dunaway.
When the space wind dies down on a clear night, you can hear her calling, hear a siren song calling you to the moon. But you should never go.
Never go. No. Elon Musk is trying, and we're all supporting him in that effort because they deserve each other. Nobody else need go.
Oh, free to a man, free in the bush, free, yo. Films are shit, mate.
Oh God, we need to talk about this movie.
All right.
The film has 29% on Rotten Tomatoes, 5.5 on IMDb, and inexplicably, miraculously, against everything we thought we knew about the world and our fragile place in it, it has 46% on Google.
Huh.
The lowest number I have ever thought about and associated with Google. That's divisive.
Even lower than their tax avoidance fine.
Oh, it actually isn't. It's £43. Also, it flopped. But on the other hand, Coke. So, Paul, you daft cow.
Fucking bubbles.
What's one thing about the hand that made you want to listen to Blondie in a car? The best thing a person could do in the car.
Well, before that, there is a shot of Michael Caine chopping some wood. And honestly,
Yes.
it's just weird to see him doing anything active.
He's so unwieldy at it, right?
Yeah. He's an absolute loose cannon at it. And generally...
And every time he cuts, he says, chop wood.
He does. He's method, but not in a good way, not in an effective way. But just generally, the Michael Caine of my consciousness is a 78-year-old man, who moves very slowly about, saying things in definitive ways. I haven't really any old Michael Caine that I have seen. I saw at a young age and don't really remember. So seeing him somewhat limber and doing things
it's a troubling
semi-dynamically. It's troubling. I don't like it, and I don't like having to share it with anybody. But here we are.
Well, Mike Hodges understood this when he cast him in Get Carter. He just looked at him and he was like, "Oh, you're unsettling. Let's build a movie around that. Let's send you up north and see what happens, and hopefully a movie will appear." And it did immediately, as would happen. Zulu. There was no Zulu conflict. We went back and rewrote history to account for what Michael Caine did back in when we sent him to South Africa.
Back in the olden times. And of course, Shane Meadows attempted that, sending Paddy Considine to the Midlands in a raincoat. And the effects were almost as bad, but it was more of like it's more like latter day Michael Caine carnage, isn't it? You know.
And Paddy Considine worked it all out. He got it all out of his system, and now he's lovely.
Yeah.
Same can't be said of Michael Caine. He got worse, if anything.
Absolutely. Just wouldn't stop eating chips in Tenet.
Children. He wouldn't stop eating children. And it's the worst thing you've ever seen. It's fucking hilarious when he shows up in Tenet eating chips because everyone has done so much to reduce their legibility at this stage. It's just like, Christopher, will it affect the clarity of my audio if I'm eating chips in this scene? Because I really enjoy chips.
I'm very hungry.
No, absolutely. I think you should do that. Oh.
Brilliant. It's cinema verite.
Action. What? I'm having my lunch. Where did that IMAX come from? So the movie starts, and the credits are trying to cover Michael Caine's haircut. It's a noble attempt.
I'd like to see you hear me now.
He's got an 80s aerobics wife and a little kid.
Yeah.
And
seems perfect.
The aerobics wife, he's perfect. He's got everything he needs, and he works as a comic book artist. Again, I did this. I don't know why this is the sand gesture. He's a spider as well.
Oh yeah, we didn't say all the characters are spiders.
The gesture, for anyone who's curious, is the same gesture that Robert Pattinson made in his interview when he said the words "vampire baby." I don't know why I'm using it for anything.
It's because a lot of your new film friends are European, Paul, and you just can't help but gesticulate wildly.
And appreciate Twilight and also Michael Bay or whoever it was. No, M. Night Shyamalan. Anyway.
Oh, Christ.
It's time to stop saying M. Night Shyamalan for almost no reason and talk about this movie instead. She wants to go off and rent an obviously haunted house because it has to be rented by the end of the week.
Yeah.
And also do a course in creative living, which is obviously a cult, a yoga-based cult.
Yeah, look at him though. Wow.
Yeah.
What a svelte man. Gotta trust that.
He's a svelte man. You've got to trust and fuck that. The little girl gets traumatized by a cat just going about its daily business.
Cat just doing normal cat things.
Cat stuff, and it traumatizes a little girl. Happens to us all eventually. We all lose a bit of our innocence when we find out how cats live.
Oh, I certainly do. I hope that this cat isn't going to be in the rest of the movie because sometimes I just can't handle the attention from my cat and I'd just rather that he ignored me, but he doesn't. So having a troubled cat in the movie made for a troubled cat in real life. I didn't have that energy, Paul.
Ah, fuck no. Well, he will memorably leave the film later on inexplicably forever.
Yeah.
In the same way I'd like to leave every movie I'm ever in, but we'll come to that. So later, Caine is in his wife with his car, and she's having doubts about their marriage as you know he's in his leather coat and with that hair. This isn't working for me.
It should have.
Yeah. I'm not sure this is right for me. You cut to Michael Caine. It's like, no, I'm not sure either, love.
And I'm pretty sure it does cut to a close-up of his sweating face. What do you mean? Maybe if I get in your face.
I just felt that we should be on our own for a while. I thought you understood that. I thought that was why you said that I
Well,
could...
we obviously do not understand each other. There is no way I'm going to let you traipse off to New York with Lizzie, leaving me here alone to pay the bills. No way. So you can forget that. Right now.
I'm going to stick my bloody hand out the window, and it gets torn off. They was only supposed to tear the bloody hand off, and they did. They did do that.
And they did. They're professionals. His ring's gone. Doesn't know what's going on.
Oh, God, he's no one without his Justice League of America ring. So they go out looking for the hand, but the cat's already got it, I bet.
Probably.
You know.
Cat
At this stage, I thought because I saw this is inspired by the Hands of Orlac, in which a man becomes convinced that his hand transplant now means he has the hands of a killer. So I wondered if they might just find a serial killer's hand that was also in that field and stitch that on by mistake. Unrelatedly, that was there.
It's got an axe
and then
in
it
it.
dramatically pans down to show his hand there, and it's like, oh no, they got the wrong hand.
Here we are, love. Got it. And it's just it's a hand with an axe in it, covered in hair.
It's obviously Jason Voorhees' entire arm. It's like, this must be it. Come on. But I've still got most of my arm. Well, I don't know.
Did it grow
Do it.
in the accident? Maybe it did.
Look, it's close enough, right? I think it's a left hand. Look, shut up. Put it on.
This is why I want a divorce.
They don't find his hand, so now he has a stump. And slim career prospects as a cartoonist.
Yeah.
There's some... at this stage, more ordinary cat's ownership stuff as it jumps onto his lap and then through a window, never to be seen again. Perfectly ordinary cat behavior.
Cat owners the world over nod sagely, and then their face falls off and their cat's behind it, operating them like a puppet.
No! What happened there? Didn't expect it to go that way. Stay tuned, folks. There's a lot of gags that go completely in opposite directions than you might think.
So, yeah, Christ.
A lot of our jokes end with the turns out cat society.
Turns out cats are in us. And Michael Caine has been told that he can leave the arm of Mandro to somebody else.
Oh yes,
to some
cartoon is Mandro.
Yeah, he can leave it to some twat who wants to change it. Maybe
he
for good
leaves
reasons.
it to.
Yeah.
His agent, leaves it to a sexy young comic artist with at least two hands, and he is played by Mr. Charles Fleischer. Now, Mr. Charles Fleischer is a somewhat unhinged presence in this. He seems genuinely insane, and he's giving off that Bill Hader, I might be crazy energy.
But you don't know.
Maybe Mandro should change a little bit. Begin to explore himself. Ask questions.
Charles Fleischer voiced Roger Rabbit in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Who flayed Roger Rabbit? Who flayed Robber Rabbit?
Who Flayed Robber Rabbit? It's a terrible sequel.
I didn't know where your office was, so I asked the newsboy. He didn't know, so I asked the fireman, the greengrocer, the butcher, the baker. They didn't know. But the liquor store guy, he knew.
And I didn't appreciate this, he played in the scariest scene of Zodiac. You know,
It's not a problem. They're just down in the basement.
Not many people have basements in California.
I do.
he's that guy. He's creepy basement
Jesus.
guy. Roger Rabbit. And here he is as the cartoonist
Robert
who wants to
Rabbit.
take over fucking mock Conan.
Christ. And he doesn't. He does go about it diplomatically, I think, Paul.
Yeah, he does. To be fair, he's changing the layouts and the plot content
and the character.
And the character, which you're definitely not meant to do, illustrator.
Yeah.
Dave Gibbons never did that shit. Alan Moore sent me the craziest shit you've ever seen, but I just drew a comic about superheroes dealing with mortality and hoped he wouldn't notice, and he never read a draft. You don't want to see what he sent me for Watchmen.
You do? Oh, I should stop saying that.
Damn it. And that's how, I don't know, the Watchmen movie got made? I don't know. Joke. End of joke.
M. Night Shyamalan, Cat Society.
He did go back to the field in order to find his Justice League ring, and it's hilariously implied that the hand is following him through the field by a low-angle shot, tracking across the grass, which at this stage I find hilarious because I haven't seen where they're going with this.
So, I mean, it's good to start with the tamest of the most ridiculous disembodied hand scenes. Yeah, so nothing's going well for him, to be honest, because his wife is clearly fucking the yoga guy.
Well, they moved to New York as well, so they're over there. She's fucking the yoga cult leader, and he goes up to the viewing gallery that they have during their exercise classes in order to confirm this, and he probably realizes his days are numbered. Yoga. The hand is at this stage shown slowly crawling towards them from Vermont to New York, so it could take a while, but I guess it can hitchhike.
Probably never gets out of breath, though.
Just the thumb at, like, wheel level. Oh, God.
Driver, screech to a halt.
I will. He gets a prosthetic fitted.
Yes.
And then, says you can look, and you can even put a glove over it so to save the money on budget. Isn't it crazy how once the glove is on this giant prosthetic, it just looks like your hand with a glove on it?
Hang on though. Yeah, seamless.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Beep, beep, beep.
But oh no, somebody scribbled all over Roger Rabbit's storyboards, and so he gets fired.
Oh, what's going on?
He leaves the meeting, and Oliver Stone prominently appears as a tramp and himself, who is also missing a hand, and then moments later is killed by a hand, which leaves you wondering whether that was Michael Caine's hand who killed him, or his own hand is also murderous and trying to kill him. Maybe that just happens in this world.
I was on board with one hand, Paul, but two is really pushing the
unrelated
envelope.
hand chaos. Well, imagine if you were in a movie and you just bumped into a guy living the exact same movie. Oh, sorry, sorry to bump into you. I've got to go. There's a secret society who are after me and have taken my wife. Wait a minute. Not the Omega Society. No, it was the Alpha Society. Oh, okay. That would have been that would have been.
Yeah.
But still, right?
Still pretty crazy. Like
still
I thought we were going to have
big
a fight to the
coincidence.
death. But
you're not part of the Omega Society. No, never heard of them. Oh, great. Okay. All right. Well, good luck. We should catch up. Yeah, we should, but they both know they won't.
Yeah, but you got to keep up appearances, haven't you?
And you got to say it. Because what do you say otherwise? Just good luck? Like, no. You say, see you once you've defeated the Omega Society. Caine returns home and accuses his little girl of ruining everything. And
then his wife of ruining everything.
It's a Caine go-to move, and she is used to it at this stage.
Yeah. Well, he gets up, looks at his watch, and goes, I don't think I've screamed at enough women's faces tonight. Wife.
I think there's room for one more. So he does that, and then he's going to move to now, his career prospects are such, he's got to move to California to teach in some shitty college.
Yeah.
And the hand is like, for fuck's sake. It just like turns around and starts.
And this is when...
how am I doing this?
And then he meets Brian De Palma, and...
is that the Johnny Longhair, his new best friend?
Yeah. I teach in the college here. I want to fuck all the women. I should love their pussies.
Yeah.
Oh, other things too. Great, mate.
You're a good guy. I'm glad to be friends with you. He's teaching a class on comic books to a group of kids who fucking hate comic books.
Yeah.
And he's mildly perturbed to find a mutilated snake totem outside of his place. But, he's got to get his stir fry on. Or his beef burgers? Meatballs?
I think it was beef burgers. He was making some fat patties, and
he had like 2 massive balls of fat patties that he was going to pound into beef burgers just for him.
But unfortunately, his robot hand hasn't yet learned the subtle art of not crushing whatever it holds into a
the subtle touch of the meat. The subtle caress of the flesh, as I know it. Come to my grill squad. The wife is dragging her feet and visiting him, so because for obvious reasons. So it's time for him to sex a student.
Yeah.
And luckily, one of his students has the hots for him. She wants to get Carter.
Oh.
She wants to ip-kiss his file.
What?
She's dressed to kill, Zulu.
She wants his Beetlejuice.
I don't know what we're doing.
She was in Beetlejuice.
He was in Beetlejuice. Actually, the student is Annie McEnroe, who was the leading lady in Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf.
Really?
You might remember her getting awkwardly sexed on by Red Brown and then chucked through a window by Christopher Lee, probably.
Probably.
Can't remember.
Wow.
But yeah, she had sex in the village, and all the villagers were like,
Right, yes.
She got led to the middle of nowhere. She didn't have much to do in that movie, to be fair, compared to Christopher Lee and his gang of weird Avengers.
Sturber. So
Sturber.
But yeah, no,
Karen.
she's around and she's got desires and that, and they do
Yeah,
a sex.
They do a sex because she does come on to him. I'm pretty bad at reading signals from ladies, but she does take her top off in front of him. So,
Yeah.
But then she might have just been hot, like there. in that
Yeah,
moment.
she's a free spirit.
And how dare you sexualize that? You
Yeah.
know, ladies are allowed to get too hot in a space and take their clothes off.
So I take my clothes off and look at you and say, fuck me, please. And that's an invitation to take your dick out.
Oh, Jesus, what is wrong with our society? It
Fucking-
sounds like we're making fun of a very sincere conversation that needs to happen about consent. But
Yeah.
that's just our way. That's just our way.
In actual fact, this is a Michael Caine joke. Let me get in your face.
Yes, because we get the Michael Caine sex scene we've all wanted. Where he
With
just
that
looks
hair.
bemusedly at his subject. I don't know. And
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
the wife does come to visit, which is pissing off new girlfriend.
Yeah.
I know what will cheer you up. I got you some skimpy lingerie. Please wear this for me. Where are you going?
She's got to go to work. Well then, I'm going to go to the bar and get really drunk. Oh.
With my friend Johnny Longhair,
Brian
who
De Palma.
is off to LA.
Yeah.
Kane's best friend, and he's got a bit on the side too. A girl, a blonde girl, a girl that you might know. It's her. It's the girl. I didn't realize how unambiguous he was going to make it when I started writing this note. I didn't realize he was just going to be like, yeah, you know her.
Yeah.
I thought he might, hint and he'd get suspicious and kill him and then be wrong, but no, he's definitely getting off of his girlfriend.
Well, it doesn't matter because he gets suspicious anyway. So.
Oh.
Well then,
Hang on a minute.
I'm going to go to a motel.
Yep, someone's going to get handied. But ladies first, so Howling 2 gets hilariously murdered by a hand. And
Yes, she does. And
the family arrive.
But
To the hand's credit,
ties
it tidies up the place and even re-gifted the lingerie for the wife. So you fucking solid, mate. And you see the hand in the window doing like a thumbs up.
Does the okay
No,
sign
it's doing
and
the
then
rock
thumbs
and
up.
roll. Like,
But then it like hobbles over to a bit of condensation and it draws a cock in it. And Michael Caine's and
I don't know about this, but that is the best cock that I have drawn in years.
it was a little risque.
She confesses that she's been sleeping with her yoga cult leader, and he then asks, "Does my daughter know?" And she replies it would have been wrong to keep her out of it, but because he didn't ask her, "Are you in a relationship with him?" It would have been wrong to keep her out. She asked, "Have you been sleeping with him?" Does she know? So very specifically asked, "Does my daughter know that you've been boning?" To be honest, it would have been tricky to keep her out of it.
What with us sharing the same room? That's right. I talk like you now. It's not very bloody nice, is it?
This is what the relationship has done to me, and I don't like it. Our daughter's very aware that I've been sleeping with the yoga teacher because of the amount of noise I made.
She couldn't fucking ignore it, even if she wanted to.
Oh, fuck. So he lets her drive off with the hand in the backseat.
Yeah.
But shocking twist, she's fine. Maybe that hand hadn't been such a bad or actual guy all along.
Well, I don't know what's happening anymore. Brian De Palma dies.
Yes, Brian De Palma dies. He's mad because Howling 2 was too dead for the trip. So the hand gets him, or Caine does. I don't like this ambiguity. I was happier when it was definitely a severed hand wandering around killing everyone. I don't like this he might all be in his head nonsense.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I think the important thing is, Paul, we've got more scenes of Michael Caine and his daughter. Playing backgammon. No less. Daddy, I don't like this. What? You want to change the game? No, I don't like any of this.
I don't like being here. Well, you know what's fucking waiting? And then Faye Dunaway's holding the door open.
Never mind. That's what I thought.
Why does she have to drive me to set? Don't ask! Oh, hello, Faye Dunaway. It has been a while since I've seen you. Michael! Come to me! Bring me the axe! I don't want to bring her the axe because I know what happens when she gets it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the wife dies.
Yeah. Never thought
Wife dies
a woman whose face
frames.
I did not want to get into.
The hand gets the wife and frames
no.
Michael Caine. You betrayed me, hand. I won't forget it. So it's time for the final showdown. So he goes to the barn and hilariously flails around with a rubber hand for a while and then falls asleep.
Yeah, and then fucking Dr. Rick Douglas gets up, brushes himself off, and they put Michael Caine in his place, and then he wakes up with his own hand around his neck. Oh no!
Yes, his own hand around his throat. The other one.
Yeah.
The one that's still attached.
The one that's still attached.
At the wrist, not the throat. Well, both, but it's the one that he didn't.
Yeah.
Not the hand, not the titular hand. Yeah. Yeah, you get the idea.
This is confusing. It's a very layered film. There's too many hands. There just needs to be one hand in the entire film. Otherwise, like, how are we supposed to keep up with it? That's the name of the movie.
Too many hands.
Chinese translation. And
it's funny because you'd think I wouldn't have enough, having lost a hand. But a man in my situation should not be still having to worry about the hand that I lost.
It really makes you think.
The police come and the wife, will be fine. But what's that smell? It's Johnny. It's dead Johnny Longhair in the massive trunk of Howling 2 and her hilarious I'm dead face. So, he gets arrested and sent to the insane asylum.
Sorry about that, guys. Couldn't help myself.
God, you fuck it. Oh, have you seen the look on her face? Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's classic.
But sometime later, his hair's gotten even better, and he gets seen by the creepy nurse from The Exorcist 3.
Yeah. Who
tells him that the hand isn't real, but it is. It actually is, and it gets her.
Yeah.
So he has a good old laugh about it. Awkward freeze frame the end.
Yeah.
And that's Michael Caine's Oliver Stone's The Hand. I can't believe this is Oliver Stone. If Oliver Stone wasn't in it, then I would really struggle to believe this and think it was a typo of some sorts on everything about the film.
Yeah. When you first told me about this film, Paul, I was not expecting Oliver. I didn't know what to think, to be honest, when you told me Oliver Stone horror movie Michael Caine The Hand.
It's Scarface next. How does this movie come out and then the next thing is Scarface?
I've got a lot of demons to work through before I make my magnum opus. Listen to how I bloody sound.
Oliver, you ready for me? No, Al, you don't have to talk like that yet. It's inappropriate. But no, I'm not ready for you. I'm still dealing with Michael Caine. Hello, Al Pacino. It's nice to see you.
Can I call
How
you?
long of your hair, motherfucker? I don't understand why he's talking like that.
Similar to bees. It's very hard to make a disembodied hand creepy.
Yeah.
It's only hilarious.
I'm going to talk about this a bit more in my One Better thing, but yes, you're right. A disembodied hand. Like, I mean, if you realized it with absolutely flawless special effects, which they handled only 10 years later in The Addams Family, where the thing looks great and still does.
Yeah.
It's
not
even
scary.
then, I think it's hard. You'd be hard pressed to make that scary. I'll tell you, a disembodied hand that's scary. Those monsters in Elden Ring. Do you remember there were like spider hand? In the old castle. Those are good.
Yes.
So maybe the trick is they need to be giant. Maybe the smallness is what makes it amusing. Because in this, you have lots of shot of the hand like creeping around corners or scuttling around in the background,
reversing underneath a set of drawers.
Yeah, fuck me. It's a bit hilarious.
But it's also Elden Ring being a video game. You don't have to have. It's all computer-generated graphics. You don't have to make it look real. It looks as real as anything else. So it's creepy and it's
yeah. This doesn't represent the best work of Stan Winston or
no
the other guy.
Surely you'd have
Carlo Rambaldi.
Yeah, you'd be better off when you have these shots of a hand strangling someone, and the camera. It cuts off the rest of the wrist, so it's not even just a disembodied hand doing it, and it's still a prosthetic ass looking hand. At the very least, you could have just had like a real hand do it and still cut it off, and it would have been able to look
and that
less
is what they do in
goofy.
My One Better Thing. And also, is
okay.
it in this or My One Better Thing where you see like the wrist or what would be the wrist like writhing about and twisting as it's strangling?
Oh, I can't
Is it in
remember.
this?
I don't remember it.
I can't remember either. It might have been in My One Better Thing then.
Yeah.
So that's basically it. Okay, what to say about this movie that's actually sincere? Is it a fun movie? Is this like a fun cult movie?
It's pretty fun, yeah. Because
it has its moments.
It definitely does. There are a lot of really weird smash cuts to Michael Caine's face, or hard cuts to Michael Caine's face, and there are some funny little smash cuts as well. Michael Caine is he's like a weird, softly spoken, grumpy man until halfway through each scene he just gets in someone's face and swears at them. and he's just such an unreasonable man to live with, even before he loses his hand, and it's
unreasonable and inexplicable.
Yeah, he is kind of inexplicable, kind of unknowable, and yeah, he does bring a really enjoyable intensity to it. And I will say, for all its flaws, its secondary characters felt like they had agency and desires, and it made the world feel kind of populated, at least compared to, you know, what I was expecting this to be, you know, just B-movie horror, which is what it is. But the world felt a little realer than others of its ilk. But ultimately, it's a film that fails to make a disembodied hand creepy, as most of them do. It's just a very hard thing to make scary, and went about it in the wrong way with jump scares and things like that. Yeah,
it was always going to fail as a genuine horror movie because it has something of a goofy premise. I mean, I feel like it knows that. The accident is so overblown. We didn't really talk about this. When the accident happens, the hand gets taken off by a truck coming the other way, and you see it twice as it happens and then in flashback. And in both instances, the hand gets whipped off and there's this massive spray of blood. Yeah. And he pulls his stump in and he's holding it and his wife is in front of it for some reason. It just gets covered in blood. And it's just absolutely crazy and over the top. And you feel like it is going for sort of, you know, cult movie frills. And maybe he had a cynical, you know, mind space that this would play in, like, you know, midnight theaters or something. And then he didn't really want to go for legitimacy because the description of his first film, Seizure, was it? Sounds equally campy and very cheesy. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe that was just... But that movie was made 8 years prior to this one. Yeah. So, it feels a little weird to draw comparisons between the two as being a phase of his career, particularly when he had a lot of cocaine and an Oscar win for Best Screenplay between the two. God, so, I don't know. Weird. His life is so strange. He defies any kind of straightforward narrative, because it seems like there is the career of a genuine, legitimate filmmaker happening coinciding with just absolute nonsense. Maybe he made this to fund Scarface. Maybe he just cranked this out, but then he got Michael Caine, who even at the time was a well-respected actor. Yeah, and he wrote this as well. Yes, so adaptation of a short story that I could find absolutely no record of. But yes, he wrote this and directed it. Directed a short story written by Stoliver Owen. Like if it was what I initially expected it to be, as just something he had to do for the studio, before he could get on to make the films he wanted to make, then he wouldn't have written it as well, surely. Yeah. Or maybe pick some script. Cocaine energy Oliver Stone when. Yeah, and I write it as well, right? And we were kind of going to get this guy in to write it. And he just gets right fair, close to their face. This is somewhat reminiscent of the stuff Stephen King did whilst on coke. So maybe this is just the kind of movie you make. Yeah, maybe. On coke. You suddenly just think to yourself thoughts like, what if my hand was evil? It is. What if a St. Bernard was trying to kill a family, you know? Like, innocuous things suddenly become your worst enemy when you're on a coke high. Perhaps. I don't know, it feels more like acid than anything else. I think it depends on the person. For me, it just made me very... Depends on the depends on the caliber. It just made me very interested in hearing people talk about their job as a banker. Depends if you got it from Spicey Dave or not. Spicey Dave and his heavily cut narcotics. Yeah. You don't know what you're getting. You get his surprise pouch. Surprise powder. Really wish it wasn't so surprising. God. MDMA again. Spicy Dave. Spicy Dave, I fucking love you. And everyone, actually. So, yeah, I think as a cult movie, like, watching it now, it is funny. Like, Michael Caine is there, and that's always going to be great. He's just such a wild presence, and he never... You know, in spite of the fact he does all this stuff and for cynical reasons, he does always bring his A-game. He doesn't usually... I can't think of a Michael Caine role that he's slept-walked through. Yeah. It takes some fun twists. In general, it keeps moving. It's somewhat exhausting when you get to the point when he moves to California, but it looks like he's gone to Arkansas. It's like the coldest I've ever seen California look. Yeah, I guess it's a big state, but even so... I guess so. It doesn't feel like it's going to have like a Stephen King Colorado bit to California, but maybe it does. Maybe that's a thing that happens up in the mountains. Look, we famously know, people always say this, we don't know how America works. We don't, actually. It's a very inexplicable place. Maybe you have got the Doors doing peyote in the desert 5 minutes away from Jack Nicholson freezing to death.
And did they do anything to help him?
Very strange place.
No. So
Absolutely not. And you're going to try and legislate for the whole place at once? No.
Madness.
You're not. Get rid of the federal government, everyone. Come on.
but yeah, like Michael Caine is never... He's become subtler in his old age, but up until sort of age 60... He has not really brought much nuance to his performances.
I think he had a Nicolas Cage experience to some extent. I think he was a wild, extraordinary figure in his younger years, but always measured. Then perhaps he got into performing Michael Caine.
Yeah, maybe.
A little bit in some of his roles. And then he got older and sort of more mature and started taking on better roles.
And Christopher Nolan
I can't remember
would just go shh.
And Christopher Nolan. He basically retires, except Christopher Nolan sometimes lets him come and eat chips in his movies.
He pays him $20 million.
Oh, fuck. What was I saying? It's good. It's okay.
No,
I quite
funny.
like it.
Yeah.
Watch it, you pricks. Let's quick fire. I enjoyed it. I had fun.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah, it's got some weird elements. It feels, again, like an early De Palma movie, or like those weird horror movies that Robert Altman made. I can't remember what they're called now, but the Fracture, or whatever it was called, with the woman in the British countryside and everything goes wrong. That movie, that feels like The Hand a bit, but slightly
Paycheck.
worse.
He did that.
Paycheck, that was it.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I watched this movie, just squeezed it into the only 2 hours I had available this week.
Images, it was called. Images, sorry.
Right. And it must have been before Paycheck. And he... I squeezed it into the only 2 hours I had free this week, and I started the whole venture with a small amount of dread, thinking I don't know if I have the energy for this. And I've got to say, even despite that deadness that I feel inside on a daily basis, it's getting worse. Everyone, I still was able to recognize the wonderful silliness of the frequent surprise cut to Michael Caine's face, or
a cat jumping through a window,
or a cat just living its normal cat life, and it did manage to break through. Yeah, the feeling of numbness that has become completely normal of late. Help me, everyone.
Oh God, help Goodman, everyone, and whilst you're at it, watch The Hand, because there are delights, and generally speaking, the movie moves at a pace. And you'll be amused by its strangeness. Having said that, let's quickfire the things we like best. Quickfire.
Fantastic. Look at my sweat patches.
Look at them. Ooh, fuck yeah, mate. Nice.
Bloody look at that.
Michael Caine impressions take a lot out of you folks. It's actually part of CrossFit now.
Everybody after me. You're only supposed to blow.
The bloody doors off. Everyone comes in. And sustain the off. Oh, only until it's comfortable, Jeremy. You're not impressing anyone, okay?
Michael Caine is not ow. Michael Caine is ah.
Quick fire, goddammit. I'm going to do one.
Okay.
The comics. The comics are all Conan rip-offs, but drawn by Barry Windsor-Smith, who worked for Conan at the time. And then Oliver Stone directed Conan, I guess. So that's how that works. Hire someone tangentially related to the thing you want to do, and it'll happen.
Superb. Go on then.
Great. Superb.
Okay. The yoga teacher, I did like him generally. He was pretty cool. Reminding me of a Tony Horton type who.
Oh yeah.
Is just the calm way he'd speak and tease people.
Yeah.
And then fuck Michael Caine's wife. Tony Horton did that too.
Yeah, you got to admire the way he did that.
Yoga is not ow. Yoga is ah.
Amazing. So early on, the little girl finds a lizard's tail, and the short story, this is an adaptation, is called The Lizard's Tail. And
Rudyard Kipling.
It's beautiful. It's part of the Just So stories. And that's just so. Why is Michael Caine? And it's that explanation. It's the backstory. So yeah, it's the tail is detached, and then you look over, and the cat is eating the lizard, and the whole thing is a metaphor because the tail is still moving, and the little girl asks, "How does it know to move?" And he says, "It's just instinct. It's just instinct." Meaning the hand will just be instinct as well. Nevertheless,
Oh.
When you cut to the cat eating the lizard, it's fucking horrible. It's like it's pulling apart and there's like a tendril that's getting stretched out from it, and it was the first like audible reaction from me of just kind of, oh shit. Like just a cat just living its best life.
And the cat's just living its completely normal life going, ah!
It comes over and grabs the tail because of course, why wouldn't he? Are you going to eat that?
Sir. When they're driving, just before Michael Caine gets his hand taken off, his wife keeps trying to overtake a sort of farmer's truck or whatever the fuck it is. Oh, yeah. And there's also
a farmer's truck.
And the woman driving behind them moves up to take the space. Yeah. And in the middle of the this disagreement, they're still fairly quiet from Michael Caine. And he just cuts off to turn around and just go,
"Get back, you silly cow!"
Yep, that's my next one. Amazing.
Just wonderful.
I love the way they've cast her, because if you're putting an asshole behind them who's speeding and like causing a nuisance, you cast a dude, you cast a young dude in order to further add to the sort of machismo of the situation. You don't cast a little old lady who's desperately trying to overtake these pricks on the hard right. It's amazing.
Just really hammering home the fact that Michael Caine is not playing a nice man in this.
Well, also, she was just a lunatic as well. She tried to overtake them on a slim country road. And where are you going anyway? Anyway, it's great.
It is great.
Okay, one genuinely effective moment is he has a dream sequence after his hands come off, in which he kind of dreams that the hand is animated, and one of the shots makes it look like there was a very large version of the hand next to him in bed. And it was just creepy. It was black and white. A lot of the black and white stuff was actually quite good. And kind of creeped me out. So, yeah, I liked it.
Cool.
Yeah.
A weird little moment when the doctor says he's setting Caine up with a prosthetics guy. And then Michael Caine's character thanks him. And I feel like you don't see basic courtesy captured in a lot of films. You don't see the moment when somebody goes, "Oh, thank you, goodbye." You just, it's like, it just cuts to them leaving, or he just shows them leaving without a word.
Yeah, like how you never show someone actually properly end a phone call. Nobody ever is like, "Okay, see you, thanks. Yep, bye.
Yeah.
Bye. Yeah. Like, no one ever shows that. And if they do, it's like a joke. Tell them to get the army down there and do it now. Bye.
Because me on the other end, I'd just be like, "You rude bastard."
Yeah, I'd call back.
Excuse me?
How about fucking please? I have a Caine line next, which is they're talking about someone called Pongo or something like that. They're like, "Oh yeah, we could do this thing like in the Pongo storyline. That was really good." And it just cuts to Caine who says, "Mandro isn't Pongo."
It's the same thing Walt Kelly did with Pogo.
Mandro isn't Pogo.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right, mate. Whatever you say.
I believe you. That was the most earnest thing anyone's ever said. I believe you, Michael Caine.
Well, one of my favourite Michael Caine moments.
Not Mandro.
Pongo isn't Mandro. Mandro is Mandro. And Pongo is bloody Pongo. Oh, he's in my face. He's in my face. Fuck.
Help me, Faye Dunaway. Oh, uh-oh. Like a velociraptor. Only one of them sees you.
One of my favourite Michael Caine moments then, like, it's a nice follow-on from this. When he's getting the robotic hand fitted, there's a moment that clearly it hurts him. There's a little, it just like catches him. But he just looks softly up at the dock and goes, "Ah."
Oh, sorry.
To signal pain. And it's such a weird, like, he looks right in his eyes. "Ah."
That's right.
Sorry, Michael. Sorry.
I remember that. He does it to like indicate like, "Ah," like he's communicating with him. It's not a genuine reaction of pain. Yeah, I remember that. Fuck.
It's such a strange little moment. It's beautiful.
He was such a strange little man.
Ah.
Oh, there's a good old-fashioned zoom into him when the window breaks. The window breaks and there's just like an old-fashioned 70s crash zoom in order to demonstrate his shot-looking face. And you know I love that.
Always. I've got the line here, and I don't know where it's early on in the film, but just Jesus Christ, don't start that again. Is it was in the restaurant with that woman? Is it his agent?
Yes, I think so.
Jesus Christ, don't start that again. You know you never liked her.
Well, speaking of lines, I don't quite know where they are, and I hope that there was a transcript of this movie out there somewhere so I can search for it. There's a bit where somebody says, "Who the fuck you really are?" And I don't know who says it, but
it's Brian
I've
De
written it
Palma.
down. Is it Brian De Palma? That's right, yes. I forget the
'Cause
context, but I remember it being him.
And you'll never know. Know what? Who you are. Who the fuck you really are.
And it's a J cut.
Oh, love it.
Who the fuck you really are? And then it's the next scene.
Love that.
Beautiful. There's your Oliver Stone.
Funny. That's where Scarface is going to come from.
Oh, and then obviously when it cuts, and I think it cuts to Michael Caine walking, Al Pacino's in the background just yelling like Mexican slurs. So.
You know what? On second thoughts, Al Pacino isn't very pleasant. Michael, I'd like you to take the lead of my next movie. Oh boy. Say hello to my little friend.
I've been waiting to bust out my Mexican, Cuban, whatever. I don't take much time to appreciate other cultures.
Say goodnight to the bad guy.
Is that you? I don't know.
It's morally ambiguous, and that is what is really at the heart of Scarface.
It's the true meaning of Scarface.
Is Scarface any worse than the society that represents him? I think you find he is, because he's got a machine gun.
He's foreign. And we all know how I feel about them.
God damn it, Michael Caine.
keep your prejudices out of cinema, mate. It's so pure. The disembodied hand opening the box for the signet ring was very good.
Yes, it was.
Popping it open, nabbing that ring.
There's a creepy moment. I forget who it happens to. I've got a terrible memory. Terrible podcaster. I should take better notes. There's a bit where someone's looking at a screen. Is it the wife? It must be Michael Caine. They're looking at like a window, and there's something dark on the other side, and they can't see what. And then suddenly these two long arms stretch out and smash the glass and like grab hold of the person, and it was really creepy.
That scene is particularly good because then it smash cuts to the next scene, very quiet scene. It's a very shocking transition. It's a Michael Caine dream sequence. It's a Michael Caine dream sequence.
But was he dreaming his wife got? For some reason in my head,
maybe
it wasn't him, but I might be wrong.
Might have been someone else.
I feel like I'm doing the Michael Caine impression even when I'm not trying to now.
I'm just desperate to do it right. At the beginning of the episode, I was getting it. I was on point, and occasionally it's been okay, but I haven't been able to get that magic back, and it's been... I was in before the episode.
To that level of scrutiny.
Problem is, at the beginning of yesterday, I was thinking of the Swarm. You haven't said a bloody word all journey. And,
not even a quote from the movie, but a quote from our episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Possibly. But you'll also kill hard-working American bees.
Fucking idiots. But yeah. Is it my go or your go?
Who fuck knows?
It's my go.
It's you. Yeah, I did the long arm bit.
It's Rex Mangrove. When he's talking, he's like, Mangrove doesn't think. Mangrove doesn't have thoughts. You drew loads of fucking bubbles with his thoughts all around him.
That's right.
Mandro knows what he wants. Mandro doesn't think. You drew all those little fucking bubbles with him thinking.
That's amazing, because I kind of love it. Like, he's right. This is a character of pure instinct. Don't give him an internal monologue. Show what he's doing.
Yeah,
like, he's right on, and that's what, and that's why fucking Oliver Twist was the perfect guy to fucking write Conan the Barbarian. You got it exactly right.
Jesus, there we go.
Okay. Enough talk, and then you throw your sword at someone and punch a camel.
Can't keep doing that on set, Oliver. We'll make it work. We'll fix it in post.
Okay, my last one then is at the moment that I think lived up to the humorous potential of this movie is when the hand would get someone. Yeah. Because how's the hand gonna get you really? It's gonna you're gonna end up doing the sort of thing of like trying to pull this obvious thing back that
you got to
somehow has momentum in spite of not being attached to anything that would give it any kind of momentum. but it's all in his head, you see. Well, it's brilliant. Man. So,
well then.
So yeah, you're seeing this, and what's the best bit of this is when Howling 2 gets got, and she's looking through the presents, and there's a big stack of presents under the tree, and the hand is there. We've seen it, and then suddenly it gets her in the face, and there is a cartoon punch sound effect.
Yep.
I've just. It's very good.
It's extremely good, Paul, and I was also a fan of that. And do you know why else this is good? Because I've got several quickfires left, and you've just taken one of them. So
okay,
you've done us all the service. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Here we go. Another very good hand moment was when homeless Oliver Stone gets attacked.
Oh yeah,
it's also very, very good. Another very dark place moment. That disembodied hand reversing underneath the set of drawers was fantastic. Just why include that? The class leaving in the exact order their books were stacked because he was handing back their graded portfolios, and he wasn't having to rifle through to find the right book
he
for
was
the right
giving
person.
them to them as they left. I made a plot joke about that, but then I cut it. But yeah, he's so long as you I've got all of your work for you. So long as you leave in the order in which you usually do.
If you do get the wrong book, this is not my problem.
Sort it out for yourselves.
Might makes right. I thought, Annie McEnroe from Beetlejuice fame, and the other thing you mentioned, she was very charming and forward. I quite liked her screen presence.
Yeah.
The art of the lady mounting the giant severed hand was fairly shocking and surprising.
Yes, I remember that. Yes, very good.
Then the rest of things you've mentioned, and the final one is just any sudden close-up on Michael Caine's face. So there we go.
Excellent. Fantastic. Excellent. Well, there you go.
Yes.
That's more than enough reasons, I think, to go and watch The Hand and to really appreciate just what a genius Oliver Stone is and just what a hell of a drug Coke is. The OGT, One Good Thing podcast does not in any way endorse the taking of cocaine. Unless you are a bear, in which case please do, so that you can fuel Elizabeth Banks' fantasies. Jesus. Yeah. Well, I didn't ask the OG team, did you?
I didn't fucking ask the OG team.
I didn't fucking ask the OG team.
I was on coke.
Oh no! That's the twist. He was Oliver Stone the whole time.
There we go.
Oh fuck! Sorry, OG team. We forgot to ask. It's been a busy week, but I feel like I've caught up from my 2 weeks of illness, one pressing essay, and my sister in hospital. So I will now be regularly asking you for your opinions on every Michael Caine film we talk about. I promise.
So you Roshku on the Gaishimas, and we will we'll get there.
We love you. We love all of you. The Patreon's got their top 10s celebrated this week, so it's all happening in Patreon space. Sign up there, where we won't ignore you, I promise. I promise you we won't.
Even if it fucking kills us. Yeah. And it is.
Oh, Christ. It is killing us. Don't worry about that, but you'll get to see it play out in real time, and that's going to be pretty hot, I've got to say. I'm doing it in shorts.
It's really going to appreciate in value. So, yes.
Absolutely. Yes, do that. And meanwhile, we'll talk about the one better thing. The one better thing.
Yeah, let's talk about the one better thing.
One better thing. Yeah. I shall start, and I've got a movie that I do really love because in the 60s you had Hammer Horror, and it was the big horror house, but they had a rival who are lesser remembered but equally special, a rival studio called Amicus. And Amicus's formula, essentially, they made one-shot movies, but the ones they're really celebrated for now is their anthology movies. Okay. They made movies which had multiple horror things, little short stories in it. They all went the same way. A bunch of strangers would meet, and they'd be like, "Oh, hello, what are you doing here?" Be like, "I don't know, what are you doing here?" "I don't know, I'm the working class one. What are you doing here?" "I'm the very posh one, and I don't deserve to be here." And then they'd all like. They'd meet Joan Crawford or something, and she was also one of the trapped souls, but they'd meet someone like a crypt keeper who would be like, "Each of you have a tale of woe to tell." "Well, I don't." "Okay. Well, let's think about it." "Oh, I do." And they'd tell it. And then it would turn out they were all dead the whole time. But each of their stories would then be a short story in the thing. And my one better thing is Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, which is obviously set on a train. Peter Cushing is this old, like, crazy mystic type with tarot cards, or, as it gets said in the film by Christopher Lee, tarot cards.
They're tarot cards.
And he uses his tarot cards to read the fortunes of the other people on the train, which includes a young Donald Sutherland and Christopher Lee. And in his story, he is a art critic who criticizes Michael Gough's paintings. Alfred from Batman. He criticized, and Michael Gough is young in it, and just looks so much like Cesar Romero, the guy playing the Joker in the Batman Adam West thing. Like, his smile is crazy, and he laughs a lot in this one. Anyway, he's an artist, and Christopher Lee keeps criticizing his art, and then he makes a fool of him. In a hilarious way. He gets a fucking painting out and is like, what do you think of this painting, Christopher Lee? I didn't paint this. What do you think? And he's like, oh, well, this is a different story. This painting is a masterpiece. And then reveals he had a monkey paint it. Who gets a monkey to do this? He's got the monkey. He's like, bring the artist in, and the monkey comes in. That's a lot of work, Matthew Gough. Anyway, Michael Gough, whatever your name is. Michael Gough.
Whoever you are. Undeniable man.
Christopher Lee gets revenge, runs him over, and ruins his hand. His hand gets cut off. And the hand, now disembodied, Michael Gough kills himself because he's now got no means of revenue. The hand comes after Christopher Lee. And the rest of this, only 15-minute long video, I wanted to show it to you before the recording, is just the hand coming after him in various ways, and it's pretty fucking funny.
Nice.
And these movies were very self-aware, very amusing. There are a whole bunch of them. I recommend that. I recommend Asylum, and I recommend... Tales from the Crypt. There are a lot of really good ones. And yeah, Amicus Horror is essentially what to check out, but Dr. Terror's House of Horrors is a good place to start.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I thought of a film that also has a car accident body part removal scene. Is also very, very funny and is also fucking terrifying for the large part. I'm sure we've spoken about... I mean, we've definitely spoken about this before. We've probably mentioned it as a one better thing, but Hereditary came to mind.
Oh yeah. Oh Jesus.
Yeah. It's very, very funny. But at the same time, I never stop hyperventilating. It's just fantastic. It is just. I hope I see more of Ari Aster's darkly hilarious hysteria.
I was missing.
Woo.
Woohoo.
Yeah. It manages to be. It does manage to be hilarious for how stressful it gets.
Yeah.
And it can be terrifying and just have some truly memorably horrifying, repulsive imagery.
Yeah.
And still manages to make it a laugh riot. that will change you.
I remember finding it quite amusing, but I never got how intentional that was. But yeah, I did find some of it really spooky.
That's interesting. I assumed intentional, but because
you have to see how far where you come in terms of where Toni Collette's performance lands for you.
See at what point in the movie you come. For me, it was always.
I like Ari Aster because it sounds like how Michael Caine would pronounce the name of a man who is called Harry Haster.
Ari has to go to the shops.
There you go. And I've got to go to the shops too at night. So that'll pretty much do it for the One Better Thing. Check those out.
Fantastic. Yeah.
The One Better Thing. Paul, how can people find out about One Good Thing?
Well, they can do so on Twitter and Facebook, where our hands are roving. We say disembodied, but we've yet to prove it, so the court case is pending. You just find us on OGT Pod. You can send us an email at ogtpod@gmail.com with your own severed disembodied hand, or your attached ones. We're not too picky.
It actually sounds great having a disembodied hand. Does a lot of work for him.
Yeah.
Cleans up bodies.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Sounds brilliant. I'm going to do it now.
Well, whilst he's doing that, you can also find us at Patreon, where we've been talking a lot about our new top 30s and new top 10s. No, new top 30s. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Get out. You're fired.
Don't diminish what we've accomplished.
And you can find other self-abasing, diminishing comments and commentaries all there on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And if you
get Michael Caine to do anything for that.
Oh, God, and if you like anything for that, then you'll love our D&D TTRPG podcast, Quest Fantastic. It's got us. It's got some other people that have been on this podcast. It's very funny and good. So there.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. I'm Paul there.
I'm Paul, very funny and good man.
And remember, very funny and good man. It's, that's this podcast. Oh, that's a sick burn. Oh shit!
Oh, ow!
Uh oh!
My prize, everyone. Taxi.
I've got to stop using those as taxis. And remember, the one good thing about the hand, 1981 actually, is Coke.
You try it, kids.
Try it, kids.